Right, that's all sheeted up and ready to go. So I'm just going to start carefully taking this ceiling apart. Just cut round it to where it is. It's all over the place, this ceiling. It's really up and down. I'll show you that in a minute when I put a straight edge on it. I've done quite a lot of work in this room actually. I think I put this, I did this flooring. Put this flooring down, put all the skirting on, decorated the whole room. Done quite a bit in this house over the years actually. Right, let's get to work. And when it comes to cutting out ceilings, I've mentioned this before in other videos, I won't use a multi-tool when I'm cutting out ceilings because you just really don't know where there's going to be like a pipe or an electric cable hanging down at a low level. So I just always go old school and just use a Stanley knife really. So once I know where that next joist is, I know there's no cables or wires running across it, no pipes and things. So there's my joist there. Skip the middle joist because it was needed a bit beyond it, and then down to that one. So now I'm safe to cut out a decent patch now. Nice and square. Again, I'll still use a Stanley knife. I just won't take a chance with a multi-tool. You've got no resistance if you're hitting a plastic pipe. You won't even know it's there, and then before you know it, you've got water coming down. It's just not worth it. Just for the sake of a little bit of extra effort. And it's good for the shoulders and the arms, isn't it? So you can already see the way that ceiling's curving and bowing at the minute anyway. I probably could have spent a bit more time just packing out the joists and getting it a bit neater, but I had some bag of hardwall in the van, which is must be a year old, this hardwall, so I know it's going to go off pretty quick. As you can see, I've got a fair bit of depth to make up there, so I thought I'd just float it all in with a hardwall. That way you sort of level it out to how you need it then really. So here we are, you can see how far these ceilings are out. And further along as well. You can only do what you can. So just raking out this crack now, just to get the worst of that out, and then I'll PVA the ceiling, scrim it all up, and then skim a fairly decent area. So I chucked a load of PVA in these gaps because I know it's all going to be hidden, but I still like to make sure it's going to dry at a decent rate in them cracks. I don't just want it drying really quick so it ends up sort of in no man's land, just wanting to fall out. So I gave it all a good soaking, and then I paint the board as well. I just paint around the edge of the ceiling, and I'll paint the board with a PVA just so it's all got the same sort of key really. And I would have PVA'd this twice. I don't think I show it on here, but I always PVA everything twice without exception. SBR you can get away with one, but PVA are always without fail will always give it two at the least. So there's my area. That's what I'm going to skim round to that. This is his hardwall. It's a good year old, this bag of stuff, and it stays wet for quite a while, and then all of a sudden it just goes. So didn't have to wait too long for it. So you could never have done this with finish. It would have been sagging all over the place. That was about a good just under half a bucket I used on that, which is quite surprising really, because it's only a small patch, but it took a lot of gear to get it into shape. I would obviously always suggest to use bonding, but because I did hardwall, that's just why I used it up really. It's not worth wasting it. This is the Raffina spatula. I like these. I prefer these to the speed skim, the Raffina ones. I like the angles. I like the way the sides flare out. The speed skim ones come up sort of parallel. The edges of them Raffina ones, they flare out a bit at the sides. They're better when you're trying to get into corners. You can still see I've got some dips there, some hollows to make out. But I had to let the gear pick up a bit because obviously it's going to start sagging. So now I'll put my scrim on. Now it's all level. I'll put a scrim joining that new patch onto the ceiling. If you did it without putting the hardwall in it, you'd sort of be pushing the scrim back in itself, and then it can end up popping out. So I've gone around here with 2 layers. If you're not exactly sure where your crack is, what you're covering once you've done this, just put another bit on, 3, 4, it doesn't matter. You can go as many times as you like with the scrim. Just go as wide as you want to go, that you feel confident that you've bridged that gap. So now the scrim's gone on at a level base. That's better then. I can just skim over the top of it. And it doesn't risk the scrim pushing in and starting to pop out on itself again. Right, we'll just let that pick up a little bit now. I don't want to go too heavy on it in case it starts sagging. And that's perfect timing for tea and biscuits there. So I'm just brushing around the edges. You don't want to let that go too hard. So just a quick brush around the edge just to keep them feathered in a bit. And then I just brushed it down just to give it a bit of key. You don't need to, but I'm just doing it just to show you really. Just run along, brush along it a little bit, and just cause a few little key marks in it, and it's good. Let that go off. Right, so while I'm waiting for that to pick up there, I'll just show you some other work I did outside on this job. On one of the jobs, I think if I'd have put it on YouTube, I would have been absolutely slated for it, but it still looks alright, sort of 3 years later, so I'll show you. First job was all this silicon. This was just brick garage. These walls here, take you back a bit, they were brick, and then on top of the brick they had them sort of like flower shaped squares, you know, put on top of the bricks. So with this I fitted cement board to it all. I foamed it and screwed it and plugged it to that. Put a base coat on it and then put a thin silicone top coat on it. That's still nice and solid. I would like to show you over the other side of the neighbours what it looked like, but because obviously they've got the holes still on the bricks, but I don't want to put my phone over there. And then on the top here, these ceilings were just Artex. So I bonded and set these, and although they're outside, they haven't moved at all. And I painted it with, I think I painted it with masonry paint. And they've been alright. There's nothing appeared, obviously a few cobwebs and things, but there's no cracking appeared in that. So it was easy actually. It was a really nice thing to do, just bond, because you had to bond from that way over, because you couldn't come straight down. I think I came straight down the middle, but you just dictate to what the shape already is. So they were bonded and set, and I know that if I'd have put that on YouTube, me bonding and setting an outside piece of stuff, I would have got absolutely slated for it, and people saying you can't do this, can't do that. But it just shows you, sort of 2.5 years later, they're absolutely bone dry. I mean, it doesn't get damp under there. Obviously, it just probably gets fresh air keep coming through. Now, you'll see I'm using the old dreaded flexi on this, but the reason for that is this ceiling had such a curve in it that I just wanted something that was just going to carry on with that curve. I'm not going to try and get this bit of ceiling straight with a rigid trowel because it's pointless really. I'm just trying to blend it into what exists in there, and I'm using a squeegee there as well. That's the Marshalltown squeegee. And again, I'm just trying to form a shape to the shape that's already there, so I'm not trying to create a dead flat area. I just want it to blend in as much as possible. So that's why I'm using the flexi at such an early stage. So, you know, I'm sure I might get a couple of comments for it, but sometimes they do have a use. And then I went on it early with the super flex as well after that. I think I'm just trailing up again with the flexi. Again, they do have their uses. You know, if you're trying to skim something that's got a bit of a curve in it, then you want something that's going to have a bit of give in it. So I find them good for that. I do like them for these sort of things. Otherwise, you're fighting it with a rigid trowel. And what's the point of that? So now I'm just going on it with the flexi, sort of fairly early with that again as well. Because again, that's got that little bit of give in it. Just blending the edges in. Get them all nice and feathered in. Always keep them wet. Don't keep your eye off them. Now, the most important thing of any patch is where the join is. That's it. Just work them nice and easy. You'll soon get that angle of that trowel. If you keep practicing that blending, you'll soon get it. And here we go. It is good stuff. All done. Okay, so that's that patch all done now. I've just been around the edge because I've got to paint the ceiling as well. So customers give me a 10 Dulux white. So I've just been around the edge with a roller, just about 8 inches out all round. And then just literally round the edge, just hitting that cove in there, just to kill that bit of plaster that hits the coving. And then once that's dry, I'll either miscoat it or I might give that a guards actually. I've got some guards, I might paint that with the guards. And then just paint that bit of ceiling in. And now I'll show you what else I've got to do in here. This room needs a paint. So I've got to paint this room. This all needs painting. And we're going to have some funky designs on this wall. I'll try and show you. The lady's sort of done a rough sort of line out of what she wants. So it's basically 3 different patterns. So a bit of a triangle there, bit of a triangle there, and a bit of a triangle there. Sort of like coming across a bit skew with, and we're going to mirror that on that alcove as well. So that's going to take a little bit of working out of what paint to put where first. So that's got to be done. And then also, this wallpaper's been stripped today by the customer. Wallpaper that I put up about 2 years ago, I think. But anyway, they're having a change. So that's got to be papered as well. So plenty going on. I've got some filling to do. I've had some new plugs fitted in here. And it's just bits and pieces of filler to be done around the plugs where these new things have been put in. Oh, this is the back. I did this little back extension. I plastered it all inside and then rendered it all on the outside. Oh, it's open, yeah. Yes, I did this as well. It's like a little sort of TV room. It's full of garden furniture at the minute, but so that was all done. That was just an old brick built garage, so that all had base coat and obviously top coat, thin coat render on it, and then same at the back of the house there. Came out nice actually, enjoyed that job. Right, anyway, back to it. Nice and stiff, don't want any running out, so I've mixed its filler up fairly tight here. I want this to go off. Don't really want no slumping, so nice and stiff. Right, you join me now, and I'm just joining. What am I joining? Joining the M11 northbound. So heading out towards deepest Essex, and that was okay that day. Got everything done what I planned to get done. So ceiling's all repaired. That can be drying. It's going to be ready for a mist coat maybe tomorrow, or a coat of guards at least on that bare patch. We'll see how that dries. And the wall's all prepared for wallpapering tomorrow, so I want to get that done tomorrow. And then also I want to make a start on them little alcoves with that sort of funny pattern that's going on. So I'm just going to pop up to my tool station now, pick up some tape, some masking tape, hopefully like a decent one, you know, one that isn't going to peel the paint back off again. And also, I don't think I haven't got a posting table anymore. I might have to pick a little table up because I've got one. I don't do a lot of wallpapering anymore, and the last couple of times I've done wallpapering, it's been that like paste the wall stuff, but that's like normal stuff, so you've got to paste on paper. So I haven't really got a table, and I don't think I can sort of bodge anything up. So that was sort of first proper day back after holiday. Really feels good to get back into it, get the old body working again. Can't sit about and do nothing for too long. But yeah, thanks for watching. So tune back in tomorrow, and I'll be doing some wallpapering, some painting, trying to create some funky lines out of whatever is going to go on here, really. But I know sort of the masking with that stuff, you have to prepare ahead because you really want to have it fully done before you put the paint on the first bit. I'm talking out my head, I'm talking out the arse, but anyway, we'll see all that tomorrow. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good evening. If you've enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow, I would imagine.